Hi, everybody. Okay, I am back again for another question that I was left with, and something that several of the readers have been talking about, and that is there another pandemic coming? And if so, how soon? So, I've got my cards shuffled and spread out. I'm going to pull six cards. I'm going to do a six-card reading on this. And three, four, five, six. Okay. Okay, so this way we can see what Spirit has to say about this. So I don't have the space or the setup to actually show you my cards as I lay them out. So I'm just going to pick them up and show them to y'all one at a time. So I'm doing a six-card reading. So first card stands for past influence. And for that, I drew the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, second card is the present point of vantage. And for that, I drew Justice. Third card is what you resist. And I pulled the Three of Wands. Fourth card is unexpected help. And I drew the Nine of Wands. Fifth card is the next right action. And I drew the Nine of Swords. The last card is the probable future destination. And I drew the Page of Cups. So let's take a minute here and look at these. I'm going to hit pause so I have a chance to kind of look at these and see exactly what it is Spirit is trying to tell me with these. I'll be right back. Okay, looking at these cards, and then of course the spread that I'm working on. It feels like some of the questions in the spread and the cards don't quite match. So I'm just, I wanted to take an extra minute and kind of look at them a little bit further. So we started out with past influences, and I drew the Six of Pentacles, which is giving, receiving. We're talking about generosity. We got that when President Biden got into office, as he stepped into the last pandemic and what all we had to deal with. And the first thing he did was he got the vaccine up and running and getting out to communities so that people could get immune. He had to make some difficult choices along with that, mask mandates and whatnot, which I don't understand why people have such a problem with it. It was to protect yourself. I mean, it just kind of doesn't make sense to not want to protect yourself. And then the present point of vantage, I drew Justice. Okay. Now, Lady Justice, that's truth, that's clarity, that's fairness, that's equality, um, cause and effect. I like that one thing that it says with this card is cause and effect. Because President Biden looked at what had happened. We had already lost close to 1 million Americans. That's not even counting around the world the amount of people that died from that pandemic. The last one that we just had. And I'm not going to say the name of it, otherwise YouTube's going to flag me and then they'll pull the video. So he made sure that we had what we needed to protect ourselves. He took some unpopular choices by requiring a mandate, because as he saw it, at the time when I read on it, the way he saw it was, that was kind of his way of making sure that everybody was taking steps not only to protect themselves but to protect their families, their friends, their coworkers. Like I said, by the time he got into office, it was a real poop show. It was a real mess. And and now, of course, we're all worried about what if it happens again? Because we've got this bird flu that's going around. That's why there are no eggs, people. Because the eggs were either the chickens were dying without giving up any eggs, or the eggs were contaminated and they couldn't sell them because of this bird flu. And I just so happened I read an article a couple of days ago that it has now jumped species from birds to cats. So don't let your cat go roaming outside if you can. If it's an outdoor cat, then make sure you wash your hands and all that stuff after you touch and mess with them, just to be on the safe side. And it's just precautionary measures. These are just common sense precautionary measures. It's not saying that that's what's happening or that's what's going to continue to happen. All that's saying is they've had a few cases now where this bird flu has jumped species and it's now affecting another different species. Once that happens, that's when those viruses tend to start mutating and jumping species. And before you know it, we've got it. Um, Last time we had a bad flu like that was the H1N1, which, if memory serves, I think was another type of bird flu. I know it was really bad and it was really scary. I got it. I almost died from it. It's the only time in my entire life I was ever petrified that I was going to die alone in my apartment with no family around. So I was living in Arizona at the time. And we were waiting for the vaccine. I worked at a medical lab at the time, and we were waiting for our vaccines to come in so everybody could get inoculated. And I got it about a week before we got the vaccines. And I was deathly ill, deathly ill. I wouldn't even go lay down in my bedroom because I was afraid if I died in my bed, no one would find me. Okay. That's how crazy it makes you think when you get that sick. I slept on my sofa for a week and I left my door unlocked because coworkers who we had teams of phlebotomists that would go out and draw blood on patients in nursing homes and stuff. And our boss had them doing a rotation of coming by and checking on me and making sure I was still alive. I don't remember anybody coming to my house. And I had folks come in every hour, 2 hours for 5 straight days, checking on me, feeding my cat, making sure there was water in his bowl. Um, I would, I was totally, I mean, it's like there's a whole week that's gone. I have no real memory of it except just feeling like I was dying. So this last pandemic that we just had, I can't imagine the fear that people felt who were sick, that were dying in the hospitals and they didn't know what was wrong with them. Um, which is why it's so important for doctors and biologists and microbiologists and gene specialists and people that this is what they do is they study viruses. They study mutations of viruses. They study how it affects us. Um, the only reason why they found a vaccine as quickly as they did from the last pandemic was because they were already working on variations of past pandemics from before. And they were working already on trying to figure out what may be the next mutation and how to stop it. Otherwise, it could have been years before they found another vaccine. Okay, so now I'm at card number 4, unexpected help. For that, I pulled the Nine of Wands. Yeah, Nine of Wands. So this is somebody, show you up close. The battle is over. The war is not, but the current battle is over. You've got someone who's got his wands up for protection. He's got his back protected, but he's got bandages around his head, which means he's been injured. So even though he's injured, even though he's hurt, even though he's sick, he's still trying to stand as protection for those that are important to him. And he's erected his wands behind him to kind of be there to protect him from somebody getting through. And so I think that's the unexpected help it's talking about, is we have got to rely on and trust our medical people. They know what the hell they're talking about. It's not a conspiracy theory. That's bullshit. Okay. Next one is the next right action. And I pull the Nine of Swords. Now, that's worry, anxiety, fear. As far as the next right action, I think what this is showing us is that while, yes, we should be worried about it happening, and how do I get this card? There we go. And how do we protect ourselves? Of course, we're going to worry about that. That's normal. But I think this is also a fair warning to us not to cover our face like this person is doing and hiding away in fear. Instead, we have to take that worry and that fear and we have to turn it into rightful actions, doing stuff ahead of it to keep it from spreading, or maybe hopefully to keep it from jumping species again. That would be a really good thing. And then probable future destination. I pull the Page of Cups. Now that's opportunities, that's curiosity, that's sensitivities, happy surprises. So that's telling me that he's holding a cup there. So I could take this very easily to mean medication. He's holding your dose of medicine. So we've got to let our medical people do their job, figure out what it's going to take to keep the next virus from jumping species and infecting humans. And we have to be willing to take the medication that the doctors make to help protect us. Do you get sick from it sometimes on a very minor level? Yeah. Every year I get a flu shot. And every year I get a very mild case of the flu after I get the flu shot. Usually lasts for a couple of days instead of a couple of weeks. And then I'm fine and I'm good to go. That's how my body reacts to it. Not everybody does the same thing. With the last pandemic, when I got my first vaccine, I had not been sick, but I went and got vaccinated. And for about 2 days after I got the vaccination, I was sick as a dog. And I was like, well, good Lord, what have I done to myself? But then after that, I felt so much better. And it was like it was just gone. And so when it was time for the next vaccine, I went and got it. And again, I had about not even a whole day of feeling sick after I took it. And then I simply rested, stayed in bed and rested, drank lots of fluids. And then I felt fine afterwards. So the purpose of a vaccine is to introduce the microbes into your body that causes the disease or the flu or whatever it is, okay? It's so your body has time to build natural immunities against it, so that if you get hit with that virus, your body is already prepared to fight it off. Now, after I got vaxxed twice and then I got boosted, I got COVID. And I complained to my doctor and I said, well, it seems kind of dumb. I did all the stuff, I took all the shots, and I still got COVID. And he said, yeah, but you're not in the hospital with a tube shoved down your throat, are you? I said, no, I just have a very minor case of what feels like the flu. He says, and that's because you were vaccinated and boosted, and your body already had the antibodies to fight it off. That just goes to show you how strong this virus was. Is that even though you had immunities to it, you still got sick. But you didn't get sick like you're in the hospital for a week or two, followed by a trip to the morgue. Okay. I was sick for maybe 3 days total. And then again, it felt like a mild case of the flu. And and I got COVID again about a year later. The second time, I think it lasted like 2 days. So it was, it was not as devastating as it could have been had I not have been vaccinated and boosted. So the next pandemic, how soon? I keep getting visions that, yeah, there's another one coming, and it's probably going to be bad. But if we take precautions, if we get vaccinated when they tell you to get vaccinated, you wear a mask when they tell you to wear a mask, you wash your hands anytime you touch anything outside of your home that's already clean. Just those little steps can make a huge difference in whether or not you get sick or whether or not you bring it home and your family gets sick. Um, I mean, wearing a mask, all that does is it puts a barrier. Is it 100% foolproof? No, it is not. But if it's 95% foolproof against catching something, hey, I still have a drawer full of masks that I wore back the last go round. I will gladly take those out again and start wearing them again. So it's be careful. I think try to avoid crowds, especially if you're not masked. Try to avoid crowds because that's how viruses can mutate into airborne. Is when it starts getting passed around, it jumps species, and suddenly humans are getting sick from it. And when it gets to that stage, sometimes it can be a lot harder to get a grip on it and how to deal with it than if you don't do anything at all. My worry is the leadership that we have in place right now. We have an anti vaxxer that's going to be running our health department. Oh my God, could it be any worse? We've got a president who doesn't give a flying flip if we live or die. He don't care. As long as there's money going in his pocket, that's all he cares about. He's got money rolling in and he's not in jail. That's what makes him happy. So if the next one coming, and there's a real good chance it would be this bird flu, if it starts coming, our protection is going to be to protect ourselves. Go get vaccinated. The minute they say we have a vaccine for it, honey, be the first one in line and go get vaccinated. Go buy yourself more masks if you don't have any left from the last go round. And don't be stupid about it. Nobody's trying to take away your rights because they're telling you to wear a mask. They're simply trying to protect you and your family and your friends from spreading the germs. With the last pandemic, we went what? Almost two flu seasons where everyone was masked and washing hands. Hardly anybody got the flu during those two flu seasons. It was almost non existent. And when scientists started looking at that question and saying, well, nobody's getting the flu this year, what's going on? It's because we were doing the things that are necessary to prevent it from spreading. We were wearing masks. We were washing our hands. We were avoiding crowds. So be smart about it. Is there another pandemic? Oh, I'm sure. Is it going to be here tomorrow? I doubt it. Maybe 6 months from now, maybe 6 years from now. Who knows? But we do know that there's always one waiting in the wings. Just needs the right atmosphere around it in order for it to take hold. So it's up to us to protect ourselves and our families by following through and doing what is right for us and for our family, especially if you have small children who don't have near the immunities in their bodies yet to fight something like that off. So, don't be stupid about it and run around and say, my body, my right. Yeah, but you only want that to be in effect for certain things, not for everything. Wear a damn mask if you have to go out in public. Wash your hands after you touch anything, especially doorknobs and stuff. If you do touch stuff out and about, doorknobs, door handles, whatever, don't touch your face. Don't handle food that you're going to put in your mouth or that you're going to feed to your family. Be smart about it. And that will help us either keep it from spreading or from being as devastating as it could be if it does spread some. So be smart about it. Is another one coming? Absolutely. Is it going to hit us tomorrow? I doubt it seriously. Like I said, maybe in 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years. Who knows? I'm hoping that if another one comes and hits us, it's when we have people in leadership positions who actually care about taking care of the people that they're leading. Right now, we don't have that. So be smart. Wear a mask in public. Wash your hands. Just do preventative measures to keep yourself safe. Okay, that's it for now. The lecture is over. I guess you could tell I worked in the medical field for over 30 years. So I feel like I kind of know what I'm talking about with this stuff. Hell, I still read white papers of stuff that they put out simply because I want to be aware of what's going on because I've seen firsthand how fast that kind of thing can just take hold and take over. So, okay. Y'all have a good night. And I'll talk to everybody soon.